Okay, we got our first caller. It is Betty from Lizella. Hi, Betty.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good. Go ahead with your question.
I had I slipped and fell going down the doorsteps at my home after the ice storm, January the 12th. And I went to the emergency room, and the doctor on call there, on duty or whatever, put a, what they call a stentous locking plate. And for 5 months, it worked great. You know, I was healing up and doing really good. And after 5 months, it broke at my knee and rubbed my knee.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Betty?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It's a delay at the TV. And anyhow.
Go ahead, Betty.
Just turn it right down.
Yeah, just turn your television set down for me. Betty?
I'm listening. And,
Go ahead.
And after it worked for 5 months, it broke, and it took me about 5 or 6 days to get to see him because he was out of town, although there were several doctors in there.
Uh-huh.
And after it broke, he finally x-rayed it. He sent me back to the hospital, and another doctor put in another thing in there that I'm just now getting where I can walk, but I walk with a limp.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just was wondering. I was curious.
What exactly is your question, Betty?
Is this a malpractice or
medical mal? And here again, that's...
Well, it possibly could be, but what you have to do in order to evaluate a case like that, you have to get the medical records and contact an attorney who's experienced in handling medical malpractice cases, and let the attorney review the records with you and for you to determine whether or not there's actually a possible medical malpractice case that would warrant then engaging the services of an expert to look into it further.
And one thing Betty raised is it sounded like her alleged malpractice occurred in the emergency room setting. And unfortunately, in February of 2005, tort reform passed in Georgia.
Okay.
And so now if you have malpractice occurring in an emergency room, it's almost impossible to file a claim. You have to prove gross negligence as opposed to just regular negligence.
Okay.
And you have to do so by a higher burden of proof. So they're very difficult cases. And the important thing, like Virgil says, is get to an attorney quickly so he can or she can get the records and have it evaluated. If there's something, they can do everything they can to maximize your results, but ER cases are very difficult.
Okay.
Opinions expressed on Law Call are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of 13 WMAZ staff or management, nor any legal or judicial entity. The legal information supplied in this broadcast is general information only and is not intended to be legal advice for any given situation. Do not rely on broadcast information without consulting an attorney. Contingent attorney's fees refers only to those fees charged by the attorneys for legal services. Such fees are not permitted in all types of cases. Court costs and other additional expenses of legal action usually must be paid by the client.